In this video, we'll create a Docker container that runs Ubuntu and has a copy of Microsoft SQL Server installed on it. So how you find this documentation, I just did a quick Google search for SQL Server Docker container. This was the first result that came up, the official Docker installation instructions published by Microsoft. So if we just scroll down, we're going to go to how to use this image. And here we see we have a command that targets one of the versions of Ubuntu. This looks like a version that'll work for me. So I'm going to be running 2017. If you'd prefer to run 2019, you can do that as well. The versions don't really tend to change that much. Okay, so there is one note here, important note. If you're using PowerShell on Windows to run these commands, use double quotes instead of single quotes. Okay, so we will do that. Let's go ahead and open up PowerShell ISE. After opening up the PowerShell integrated scripting environment, you may only see a blue terminal window. One way you can fix that is if you come up to the top, just click on some of these different views, and as soon as you click on one, you should get your text editor or script editor and a terminal below that or some other configuration. So what we want to do here, run that Docker command that we copied from the documentation. So we'll paste that in here, and we just have to make a couple of changes to it. So these parameters, we've got the Docker run command, and then -e, what that'll do is that'll actually set up an environment variable on the operating system itself. So we've got a couple of these set up. One is to accept the end user license agreement, and another one to set the SA password. SA password, that's for the most privileged user that your SQL Server database is going to have. So we'll want to know what this password is. And so let's just change it to something easy we can remember. I'll do password 1. And then one other note from the documentation was to replace these single quotes with double quotes. If we don't do that, these environment variables won't actually get set and the Docker container won't run. Okay, so after that, -p, we're mapping 1433 on the host to 1433 on the container. And then the image we're going to grab here is this one specified from Microsoft.com. Okay, so this should be all we need. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it into the terminal, hit enter, and it may look a little bit different for you. You may have seen some downloads happening in order to get this all installed. I've installed a similar version before, so I didn't have to download anything. But now if I come down to my taskbar and I look inside of the Docker dashboard, you should see that you've got a new Docker container started. And so this is perfect. It looks like we actually have a fully working Docker container already. It will be running Ubuntu.